Good morning. Thank you for joining me for my multiplying decimals lesson. We're going to practice multiplying decimals and then follow that process and help us solving real-life math situations. Let's begin. We're going to multiply $2.35 times 20 hundredths. Your decimals do not have to be lined up. They are in this situation, but they don't have to be. We're also going to remember to always work from right to left as we work through this problem. Let's start here. You always start with this number in this location. 0 will get to multiply by each of the numbers above him. 0 times 5 is 0. You're going to put your answer here. 0 times 3, answer goes in this block. And 0 times 2, and that answer goes in that block. Now we're going to move over to the next number. Before I start multiplying, I need to put an X or a 0 here to hold this spot. I don't want to put any numbers there. Now, 2 gets to multiply times 5, makes 10. I put the 0 down, carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus the 1 makes 7. That answer goes right here as we're moving right to left. And then 2 times 2 is 4. That answer goes over here. The next process you follow is addition. So now we're going to add these numbers going straight down. 0 plus nothing, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 7 makes 7, and nothing plus 4 is 4. Now the trick is, next we need to count over from right to left how many places it takes us to get to the decimal. And we're going to start right here, 1, 2, keep counting, 3, 4 places. We're going to use that number 4 down here in your answer and count over 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is where your decimal will go. Since we're talking about money, we only need the change, the amount of change, which are 2 places to the right of the decimal. So the answer would be 47 cents. The 0 would be our rounding factor, and it tells us the 7 to stay at the 7. Let's practice one more time. If I'm multiplying $25.23 times 10 hundredths, all right, I'm going to set my problem up in my nice chart here. I'm going to begin with the 0. 0 times 3 is 0. Put my answer there. 0 times 2 is 0. Put my answer right below. 0 times 5 is 0. And 0 times 2 over here, my answer goes down below. Now, before I move to my next number, I need to hold my spot here. I don't want any numbers right there, so I'm going to put an X there. Now the 1 gets a turn. 1 times 3, and my answer goes right here. 1 times 2, answer goes over here. 1 times 5, answer here. And 1 times 2, my answer will land all the way out here. The next step in my process is to add going down. 0 plus nothing, 0 plus 3, 0 plus 2, 0 plus 5, and 2. Let's decide where the decimal should go in my answer. I'm going to count over from right to left. 1, 2, keep counting, 3, 4, until I reach the decimals. Now 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 places over in my answer as well. I'm going to round this since I'm talking about money, and my answer would be $2.52 because of 3, remember, tells my 2 to stay as a 2. $2.52. Now that we practiced multiplying, let's use what you learned in multiplication and apply it to a real-life situation. There's a reason I have this picture. Let me show you what the reason is. You eat at a restaurant and you give a tip to the waiter or the waitress. Well, let's talk about how you calculate the amount of money you want to leave as a tip. How much money should you leave as a tip? Well, I like to go by 20% as my tip. Here's the process or the directions to follow. You're going to change your percent, in this case 20%, to a decimal by dividing it by 100. I'll show you how to do this in a minute. But here's the next step, step 2. You take your total bill times this decimal, and there is your total tip. Let's try it. You eat at a restaurant, a pizza restaurant, for lunch with your friend. The total bill is $13. You decide to leave a 20% tip for your friendly waiter. How much tip do you give this waiter? Well, here are the steps at the top here if you need to look at them, step 1 and step 2. Let's go ahead and follow this. You need to find, you're going to change your percent, 20%, to a decimal. All right? And my little trick I like to use is since you're taking it and dividing it by 100, you're going to move your decimal over 2 places since there's 2 zeros. 1, 2. So I'm going to move over 2 places. 1, 2. And it comes out to 20 hundredths. That's going to land over here in my multiplication problem. Now I take my total bill. Price was $13 and multiply it by my 20 hundredths. I'm going to begin on the far right and work right to left. 0 times 0. 0 times 0, my answer goes here. 0 times 3, that answer goes here. And 0 times 1, that answer lands here. I'm going to put an X to mark my spot so I don't put any numbers there. And I'm going to move to the 2. Now the 2 gets a turn to multiply by all the numbers above him. 2 times 0 is 0, and I put the answer down here. 2 times 0 again is 0, put the answer. 2 times 3 is 6, my answer keeps going from right to left. And 2 times 1 is 2, my answer goes down here. The last step is to add. I want you to take a minute on your own to go ahead and add your columns going down. All right, let's review. This column makes 0, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 6, and 2. Plus nothing makes 2. Count over how many decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4 total. So I'm going to go to my answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, there you go. Since I'm talking about money, my total tip is $2.60 because this rounding that occurs, the 0 tells the 0 to stay the same. So my answer for my total tip is $2.60. Now let's use another real life situation where you can use this multiplication. If you go shopping and you see the discount sign, how much money are you going to really save? Let's try this scenario. Your favorite Air Jordan sneakers are on discount. The price of the sneakers is $89.99. The sign on the wall reads, all Air Jordan sneakers, 30% discount. How much money are you going to save with this discount? Let's figure it out. Here's the word problem right back at the top if you need to refer to it. Here's the question, how much money are you saving with the discount? And here are the directions. Step 1, change your percent to a decimal. Right now I want you to go ahead and divide your 30% by 100 and tell me what you got. All right, I'm going to move my decimal over 2 places. 1, 2, and I get 30 hundredths. I'm going to use that 30 hundredths right down here in my multiplication problem, and I'm going to now take the total price and multiply it by that decimal. $82.99 is going to multiply by 30 hundredths. Let's go ahead and make that happen. I'm going to start right here. My 0 times 9, my 0 times 9 again. Answer goes down here. 0 times 2, answer lands here. And 0 times 8, my answer will land here. I'm going to put an X to hold my spot. I don't want to put any numbers there. Now, 9 times 3 is 27. I'll put the 7 down, and I'm going to carry the 2 to the next column where I'm going to work next. So 9 times 3 is 27 again, plus the little 2 I carried makes it 29. Put the 2 down. Put the 9 down here and carry the 2. 6. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 2 I carried makes 8. And then finally, I'm going to multiply 8 times 3. 8 times 3 makes 24. Now I want you to go ahead and add these columns down, and I want you to decide where your decimal should go in that answer. Go ahead and do that now, please. All right, let's go ahead and review it. 0 plus nothing, 0 plus 7, 0 plus 9, 0 plus 8, and 4 and a 2 come down. Count over 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So I go down to my answer. 1, 2, 3, 4 places. There's my decimal. I'm going to round that. And in this case, oh, look, remember we want to keep, since it's money, we're going to keep the 2 numbers after the decimal for our change. Well, we have a 7 here. The 7's going to tell us to round up. So it's going to be $24.90. Just to throw another little step in here, you are saving $24.90, which is a great discount. If you want to find out what your new price is, there we go. $82.99 is your original price of those sneakers. Now you would subtract the $24.90 that you calculated over here, because that's the money you save, and now you owe or need to pay $58.09 for your Nike sneakers. Way to go! You just finished this action lesson. Please give your teachers a green check when you're done. Work on the board and be ready to practice with Mrs. Moyer.